Hey everybody, welcome to Game Time. My name is JJ, and today on this episode of Classic Game Pickups, we got some Sega Genesis and some Super Nintendo goodness. We got a couple other little fillers on as well, but it was a good little week, you know what I mean? I picked up some good fillers for the collection. It was roughly about 40 games, 50 games for the collection this week, so I'll go through them with you and give you my thoughts on what I picked up. Some good, decent games here. So let's start off with, let's just start off with this little stack of games. I did end up trading an extra copy of Phantom Hourglass for the DS for Majora's Mask 3D for 3DS, so you know, not quite a classic game, but still a good pickup, you know what I mean? I ended up picking up Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life Special Edition for the PS2. Sweet deal. I love Harvest Moon for the PS1. I haven't actually beaten too many of the Harvest Moons for the PS2. I also got Harvest Moon Save the Homeland for the PS2 as well. Can't go wrong with that. Ended up picking up one of my favorite Mortal Kombat games. I know in my last episode I said I'm not a huge Mortal Kombat fan, but I did enjoy Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. It is a good platforming, you know, beat 'em up game. You know, it kind of reminds me of a, you know, Mortal Kombat God of War type game. It's, you learn new abilities to access new areas and you fight, you know, people from the Mortal Kombat world. It's actually a really fun game to play two players, you know what I mean? So pick that one up if you ever see it. And I ended up getting another copy of Silent Hill 4 for the collection. Now I have 1 through 4. I still need to get Shattered Memories, and I still need to get Origins for the PlayStation 2 to finish that little collection. So that's pretty sweet. I'm gonna dig into the Super Nintendo games first because there's not as many. There's quite a few Genesis games that I got for the collection. It's pretty sweet, some good picks. But let's start off with these Super Nintendo games. I ended up with The Lion King for the Super Nintendo. Great pickup. I didn't have it. I used to actually play this on the computer, believe it or not. I got a copy of Super Street Fighter 2. I had just normal Street Fighter 2, so now I've got Super Street Fighter 2. I played them both, but you know what I mean, I didn't have it in the collection again. So I've got Tiny Toon Buster Bust Loose. I had a different Tiny Toon game for the Super Nintendo, so it's nice to get another one, you know what I mean? Double Dragon 5, a nice little one for the collection that I didn't have. I've got Double Dragon and Battletoads, you know what I mean? But I didn't have Double Dragon 5, so I still need Double Dragon 2 for the normal Nintendo for some reason. It's my favorite one and I don't have it. It's weird. So I got the Terminator for Super Nintendo. Good pick. I have Terminator 2, the arcade game, but I didn't have just the Terminator game for the Super Nintendo, so good pickup for the collection. I got Daffy Duck, The Marvin Missions. Looks like a quirky game. I did enjoy games like Bugs Bunny Rabbit Rampage and stuff back in the day. I used to actually borrow that game off my friend a lot. I have it now, but that was a fun Bugs Bunny game. Aladdin, another game that I've actually beaten this game, you know what I mean, where you fight Jafar at the end and he's the big snake and stuff. It's really, really neat. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. I used to own this game back in the day, but I traded this away back in the day, but it's nice to get another, you know, copy for the collection because I got Mortal Kombat 3. So now I've got Mortal Kombat 3 and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. So it all works out for the collection. And oh, the prize gem, sense the sarcasm in my voice of the day, would be Shaq Fu for the Super Nintendo. Now, I already know that this game sucks, major balls, you know what I mean? But I didn't have it for the collection, and it's Shaq Fu. You know, just conversation-wise, I can talk about this game, about its crudiness all day, you know what I mean? So, let's head to the Genesis boxed games. A couple Master System games in here as well. We'll start with those. Ended up with Hang On and Safari Hunt for Sega Master System. Now, this is what Sega Master System games look like if you've never seen Sega Master System games, you know what I mean, compared to a Sega Genesis cartridge. That's what the difference are. So if you ever see these, you know it's a Sega Master System, Genesis, Master System, Genesis. Okay, just so you know. But it's nice to get stuff like that. It doesn't have the book, but it's still really, really cool. I got the original Phantasy Star. Can't go wrong with that, you know what I mean? for Sega Master System. I don't have a lot of the Phantasy Star games for the Sega, so it's nice to get to start it off with the original. I still need 2, 3, and my favorite, which is 4. You know what I mean? They're just harder to find and stuff. Same thing with Shining Force, just hard to find. Sylvester and Tweety in Cagey Capers, a nice little filler for the collection. You know what I mean? Comes complete with the book and everything, so that's a nice one for the collection. Mortal Kombat, nice, good shape too, you know what I mean? So nice to have it. I had a loose copy already, but it's nice to have one with the book and, sorry, not with the book, with the case. Another cool one that I got here, Batman Revenge of the Joker. I don't know why, but I like the artwork and stuff on this game. It's really neat. I haven't tried it actually yet, but we'll have to give this one a shot. It looks fun. I've got Aladdin, so I'm gonna have to go through this game for the Sega Genesis too, because I beat it on the Super Nintendo, and we'll see if there's much of a difference on the Genesis version. But nice. And a nice copy of Zombie Ate My Neighbors. I have this for the Super Nintendo, but I didn't have it for the Sega. It's a really popular cult classic game. This game's fun to play. It's hard though, man. It's hard as hell, man. Just trust me with that. And we have another little stack of Sega Genesis games that I'm going to go through here. We got The Adventures of Batman and Robin. Good little platformer that I haven't played through a whole lot. I have tried it, but it's going to be fun to go through. We got The Lion King for the Genesis. You know what I mean? I got it for the Super, and I got it for the Genesis now. Can't go wrong with that. We got Altered Beast, another classic Sega Genesis game. We got Streets of Rage 2. I do have I have the Sega Genesis Classic Collection there for my 360 and stuff, and multiple other systems. There goes my copy of Columns. I got Columns, by the way. There's lots of compilations of that have a lot of these games on them, so I have played these recently, but I haven't played the actual Sega Genesis copy of it recently. Like Streets of Rage 2, I was playing Streets of Rage 3 the other day, so pretty happy with that. Paperboy for the Genesis. Can't go wrong. I didn't even know they made Paperboy for the Genesis, and it's actually a 10-gen cartridge. You know, so really just something neat for the pickups, right? Some more here. We got DJ Boy. I can honestly say that I have never even heard of this game, so I'm gonna have to try this one out. The Simpsons, Bart versus the Space Mutants. Nice to get one for the Genesis. You know what I mean? Because this game came out for this normal Nintendo, so it's always cool to have, you know, a decent game. It's not the best game. It's not the best Simpsons game ever, right? But it's still cool to have. Real Monsters. I used to watch the cartoon show. I've never played the game, so this will be fun to piss around and mess around in, you know what I mean? We got Mortal Kombat 3 for the Sega Genesis. Can't go wrong there. I think I almost have them all now, all the Mortal Kombats. I'm going to start having to find the same games with the box and the book and stuff, and start replacing these loose cartridges eventually, you know what I mean? But we'll see what happens. We got Tin Head, another, I haven't quite played it, you know what I mean? Kind of reminds me, just by looking at it, kind of reminds me of a little, you know what I mean, Dynamite Heady type, you know, platformer, but who knows, right? So here we got 2 different copies of Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, it came into conversation not that long ago with somebody that I was talking to, and he was asking me why his copy of Sonic the Hedgehog looked different than other copies of Sonic the Hedgehog that he's seen. It's because that, depending on where you live, will depend on sometimes where what the artwork will be on your cover, or you know what I mean, stuff like that. So this is a good example of having 2 different copies of Sonic the Hedgehog, the original, and they both have 2 different labels. You know what I mean? This is the Canadian release of the game. The cover and the box would be different than what this one would look like. You know what I mean? So if you ever see this one, it's a Canadian release of the game. If you got this one, it's a different release of the game, probably in the States or something. But, you know what I mean? I'm used to seeing this one all the time because I am in Canada. So this is normal to me. To me, something like this is like, where'd this one come from? So it all depends on where you live. We'll see which one you see more common than others. So yeah, 2 other copies of Sonic the Hedgehog, the original. We got Wayne's World for the Genesis. This game sucks. Don't even bother. It's okay. Look, and it's got a $12 price tag on the back, believe it or not. Like, I would not pay $12 for that. We got Comic Zone. This is actually a copy I replaced from the collection. I had a copy already, but I ended up with another one. So Comic Zone. We've got this weird ass game. I've seen this game before, but I've never played it. It's Green Dog, the Beached Surfer Dude. So we're gonna see how that one turns out when I pop that one in and try it out. We've got Taz, the Escape from Mars. I didn't even know there was a second Tasmania game that came out. I thought there was just the original, because I ended up getting another copy of it. And I didn't even realize there was 2 Jurassic Park games for the Sega Genesis. So you learn something. Even I learn something new every day. You know what I mean? So we've got we got Jurassic Park Rampage Edition and Jurassic Park, just the original. So I didn't know they made Rampage Edition. I knew that they made this, but I didn't know they made that. So it's always a surprise to say, hey, I didn't realize they made that. So we got Rocket Knight Adventures. This is supposed to be a really fun game, but I haven't played it. So I'm gonna have to. I've got some good Sega. I'm going to be backlogged in Sega Genesis games for a little bit, I think. So we got Disney's Fantasia for the Genesis. I've never played it. I was more of a Super Nintendo guy for that generation, so right now I'm catching up on all the Sega Genesis games that I haven't played and everything too, so it's going to be awesome. Awesome. And last but not least, we've got The Jungle Book for the Genesis. So I played this a lot on the Super Nintendo, so I'm guessing it's pretty close to the same deal. So yeah, man. Those were my pickups for the last little bit. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope that your game pickups for the next little bit are awesome too, man. So peace out, happy gaming, and we'll catch you next time. Ciao.